There's a special kind of loneliness that comes from being erased by your own family. Not because you did something wrong, not because you hurt anyone, but because you chose a life they couldn't understand. I chose my career, my freedom, my peace. I chose not to have children, and for that, I became invisible. Until, of course, they needed something only I could give. The text from my mother was 8 words long. Dad needs kidney. You match. Call immediately. I hadn't been called family in 2,847 days, but I'd been counting. My name is Emma Harper. I'm 38 years old, and I'm a senior director at a marketing agency in Boston. I have a good life, a beautiful apartment, I travel, I have hobbies, and I'm surrounded by a social circle filled with people I genuinely care about. But for 8 years, I've been invisible to my own blood family. It all started at my 30th birthday dinner. My mother, father, older brother Michael, and his pregnant wife Sarah were at the table. It was a Thursday evening, one of those nights when my mom made her special lasagna. "Emma," my mother said, placing her hand on mine across the table, "Sarah has news." Sarah was glowing. "I'm 12 weeks pregnant. Your first grandchild is coming." Everyone screamed, hugged, popped champagne. I was genuinely happy for them. Michael and Sarah had been wanting this for years. Then my mother turned to me, that expectant look in her eyes. "Now it's your turn, sweetheart. You're 30. Your clock is ticking." That was the moment. The conversation I'd been postponing for years. "Mom," I said calmly, "I'm not planning on having children." Silence. Complete silence. My father put down his fork. "What do you mean you're not planning?" "I don't want children. It's a conscious choice. I want to focus on my career, my freedom." My mother smiled, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. "You mean you haven't found the right person yet? When you mature, you'll change your mind." "No, Mom, my mind won't change. I'm very clear about this." Michael leaned forward. "Emma, isn't that incredibly selfish? What about the family line?" "You're expecting a child, Michael. The line continues." "But you're a woman," Sarah said, placing her hand on her belly. "Motherhood, it's part of nature, your biological clock." "My biological clock is my personal business," I said, my voice getting slightly sharper. "And motherhood isn't for everyone." My father slammed the table. "This is nonsense. God created women to have children. You don't know what you're thinking." "I'm 30 years old, Dad. I'm exactly the age to know what I want." My mother wiped her eyes. "You've destroyed all my dreams. I imagined raising your children, baking them cookies, taking them to the park." "Those are your dreams, Mom, not mine." That dinner ended in disaster, but the real consequences came slowly. The first sign was Thanksgiving dinner a month later. My mother called. "Emma, we're doing something smaller this year. Sarah's having pregnancy complications, you know. We don't want it to be too crowded." "Okay, tell me when to come." "Actually, maybe it's better to skip this year. We'll make up for it next year." But next year never came. When Michael and Sarah's son was born, everyone was at the hospital. I was only notified by a text message. They didn't even send a photo. At Christmas, when we took the big family photo, my mom said, "Emma, you'll take it, right? You'll find a better angle." I wasn't in the photo. But Michael, Sarah, the baby, my mom and dad were. They printed it on cards and sent it to everyone, as if I had never existed. After that year, invitations stopped completely. Michael's birthday party, the baby's baptism, the first birthday. I didn't receive invitations to any of them. I only saw them on social media. Family Day posts. Quality time with our grandson photos. I wasn't in any of them. One Sunday afternoon, I decided to go to my parents' house. Maybe if we talked face to face, we could fix this absurdity, I thought. I knocked on the door. My mother opened it, surprise on her face. Emma? What are you doing here? I came to visit. Can I come in? She hesitated. Now's not really a good time. Michael, Sarah, and the baby are here. I know. I'd like to see them too. Emma, she paused. We don't want too much negative energy around the baby. Negative energy? People without children, sometimes they emit jealousy. They say babies can feel that. I couldn't believe my ears. Mom, are you serious? Maybe a different time, Emma. I'll call you. And she closed the door in my face. After that moment, I completely cut off communication with them. I no longer had hope. They saw me as a mistake, a source of shame for their family. So I focused on my own life. I got promoted at work. I traveled to Madrid, Tokyo, Sydney. I started doing yoga, dated a painter, then a musician. The relationships didn't last, but they were beautiful. I proved to myself that I could be happy without children. Actually, I wasn't just happy. I was free. Then, 8 years later, that phone call came. It was 2:47 a.m. I always woke up with a near heart attack when the phone rang. This time wasn't different. Hello? Emma, it's your mother. I wasn't groggy anymore. I was completely awake. Mom? What happened? Your father. He's in the hospital. Kidney failure. They started emergency dialysis, but he needs a transplant. Her voice cracked. The doctors tested family members. You're a match. I didn't say anything for several seconds. I just sat there, in the dark, holding the phone. Emma, are you there? I'm here. Can you come to the hospital? We have a meeting with the doctor in the morning. You need to be there. I haven't been invited to a single family event in 8 years, Mom. Silence. Emma, this is different. This is life and death. Yes, I said quietly. For 8 years, I was dead to you too. But now I'm suddenly important, right? Because you need something. This is your father, Emma. And I'm your daughter. But that hasn't concerned you for the last 8 years. Emma, please. I'll come to the hospital in the morning, but to talk to the doctor, not for anything else. And I hung up. I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling for hours, trying to process my feelings. Anger, guilt, confusion, everything was mixed together. At 7 a.m., I went to the hospital. Memorial General, the big hospital in Longwood. I went to Dr. Marcus's office where my mother, father, and Michael were waiting. When they saw me, my mother stood up as if to hug me, but I pulled back. Good morning, I said in a formal tone. Dr. Marcus gave information about the situation. My father's kidneys were functioning at 15%. Dialysis was temporary. Without a transplant, there would be serious complications within a few years. Emma, your test results are excellent. The tissue match is almost perfect. If you were to be a donor, the risk of your father's body rejecting the organ is very low. I nodded. How risky is the surgery? Every surgery has risks, but kidney donation is relatively safe. Recovery time is 4 to 6 weeks. You can live a completely normal life with one kidney. And the costs? The recipient's insurance covers all the donor's expenses. My mother leaned forward. Emma, will you do it? You'll save your father's life. I looked at the doctor. How much time do I have to think? We can keep him stable with dialysis for a few months, but the sooner the better. I understand. I'll decide within a week. Michael suddenly exploded. A week? Emma, this is our father. Isn't this something you should immediately say yes to? I turned to him. Michael, you haven't existed in my life for 8 years. I've never held my nephew. I wasn't there for birthdays, holidays, nothing. And now you expect me to give my organ without thinking, just like that? That's what family is for, Emma. We help each other. Really? Where were you when I asked you to help me move? When I was alone on weekends, did you check in with a phone call? When I was sick, did you worry? This is different. No, it's not. You only care that I exist now because you want something from me. My father, who had been silent until then, spoke quietly. Emma, I know we haven't treated you fairly, but please, I don't want to die. My heart broke, hearing that fragility in my father's voice. 1 week, I said again. I'll give you my answer in 1 week. And I left. That week was the hardest week of my life. I talked to friends. I went to my therapist. I spent hours researching online. My closest friend Lauren was direct. Emma, you don't have to give your organ. You don't owe them anything. My therapist, Dr. Chen, was more nuanced. Emma, this decision is yours alone. But ask yourself this. If you make this decision, will you be at peace when you look back 10 years from now? That was the question that stuck in my head. How would I feel in 10 years? If I refused to donate and my father died, would I feel guilty? Could I forgive myself? But if I donated and they still excluded me, what would that sacrifice mean? To find the answer, I opened that folder. The family evidence folder on my laptop. 73 screenshots. 8 years of documentation. First screenshot. Sarah's baby's baptism photo. Caption, whole family here. I wasn't there. Second, Michael's birthday with best brother written. He never called me. Third, my mother on Facebook. Great Christmas with my children and grandson. As if I were an only child. I went through page after page, each one a small stab wound. Then I realized none of these were about my organ. These were their choices. Choices to exclude me, ignore me, make me invisible. And my decision was mine too. But donating an organ wasn't just a medical procedure. This was a relationship decision. If I was going to donate, I would have conditions. 7 days later, I returned to the hospital. This time, everyone was waiting. My mother, father, Michael, Sarah, even my little nephew, Jacob. When I entered the room, everyone stood up. Emma, my mother said hopefully, have you decided? Yes. Silence. I'll donate the kidney. My mother started crying with sobs. Michael relaxed. Sarah smiled. But I have conditions. My mother wiped her tears with a tissue. What conditions? I pulled a document from my bag, an agreement my lawyer had prepared. I want you to sign this agreement. It contains the following. 1. During the 6-week recovery period after surgery, you will visit twice a week, not just out of courtesy, but with genuine interest. 2. From now on, I will be invited to every family event, and these invitations will be because you genuinely want me there, not out of obligation. 3. I will be part of Jacob's life as an aunt. Birthdays, school plays, graduations, all of it. 4. If in the future you exclude me again because of my decision not to have children, you will reimburse all medical expenses. This is completely legal and binding. My mother stared with her mouth open. Emma, are you serious? Completely serious. I love you. I love Dad. But this can't be a one-way relationship. Either I'm treated as family or I'm not at all. Michael was angry. This is blackmail. No, Michael. Blackmail is suddenly becoming family when you need someone's organ. I'm just setting my terms. You accept or you don't. But if you don't sign this agreement, there's no surgery. My father, still weak and pale, spoke. Emma, you're right. We treated you terribly. We excluded you, judged you, and acted as if you didn't exist. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. My eyes filled with tears, words I'd been waiting 8 years to hear. And this agreement? It's fair. More than fair. I'll sign it. My mother hesitated. But, Emma, this is so formal. Family doesn't have to be this cold. Mom, I said sharply, you've been cold for 8 years. I'm just setting a boundary that works for me. Either you accept it, or you find someone else for Dad. After a long silence, my mother nodded through tears. Okay, I'll sign. Michael and Sarah signed too. Everyone signed. And I donated my kidney. The surgery was 6 weeks later. During that time, I saw my family more than I'd seen them in 8 years. My mother came for lunch. We really talked. For the first time, she asked questions about my career, hobbies, and life. My father took me out to dinner. Emma, he said, I'm proud of you. You got promoted at work. You're standing on your own feet. I never said this, but I'm really proud of you. Michael apologized. It was so easy to ignore you, to focus on my own family, not notice that you weren't there. I'm sorry, Emma. I'm truly sorry. And Jacob, my nephew Jacob, I met him for the first time. He was 6 years old, curious and funny. Aunt Emma, he said, Mom said you lived in faraway lands, but you're just on the other side of town. I laughed. Yes, just 20 minutes away. Then why haven't I seen you before? I struggled not to cry. I don't know, sweetie, but I'm here now. Surgery day came. I was scared, but ready. In my operating room, before anesthesia, family came one by one to say goodbye. My mother held my hand. Emma, I love you. I've always loved you. I was just angry, disappointed. But now I understand. I respect your choice, and I'm proud of you. My father kissed my forehead. Thank you, daughter. You're saving my life. Thank you for giving me a second chance. Michael hugged me. You're the best sister, Emma. Really. Sarah placed her hand on her belly. She was pregnant again. Emma, if it's a girl, we'll name her after you, Amelia. I couldn't hold back my tears anymore. The surgery lasted 5 hours. It was successful. My father's body accepted the organ immediately. Recovery was hard. For 6 weeks, I was in pain, couldn't move. But family was really there. My mother came every day. She brought food, cleaned, sat with me. My father, still recovering himself, made video calls. "How are you, Emma? Do you need anything?" Michael stopped by twice a week. He brought movies we watched together. And Jacob made drawings. "For Aunt Emma," he said. I hung them all on the wall. It's been 2 years since the surgery now. My father is healthy. I'm completely recovered. And family. We became a real family. I still don't want children, and they don't question me about it anymore. Last Christmas, we celebrated with the whole family. This time, I was in the photo too, right in the center. Jacob was in my lap. "Aunt Emma," he said, "are you sad when you don't have kids?" "No, sweetie, I'm not sad, because you're here, and I love you so much." "I love you too, Aunt Emma." That's when I realized happiness doesn't come from just one path. Motherhood isn't necessary for everyone. I'm happy. I'm free. And now I'm loved by my family, unconditionally. That night when I got home, I opened my laptop. I found the family evidence folder. 73 screenshots. 8 years of pain. I moved my mouse to the delete button. Then I stopped. No, I won't delete it, because this is a reminder. A reminder of showing myself respect, setting boundaries, and knowing my own worth. But I don't need it anymore, because family learned, and I learned too. Sometimes saying no is the biggest yes. The biggest yes you tell yourself. And sometimes, for your family to love you, you have to love yourself first. I'm Emma Harper. I'm 40 years old. I'm child-free. I'm successful. And I'm no longer invisible. Finally, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.